Welcome everybody to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about deeper logic of life, and we are going to talk about how human mind, how reality works. And we are also going to talk about how elites have been fooling everybody and how what you can do about it. Once again, this is not some video to perpetuate any conspiracy theory or hatred or violence, this and that. All right. This video is to reduce suffering, to understand the concepts properly, and it also has your responsibility. Like everything is not my job here. My job here is to explain you things that I've understood, that I understand, and your responsibility is to have a grain of salt and try to understand these things by your own process. Do not take everything for 100% concrete fact because the nature of the reality is not concrete. So, no matter how much even I can try to explain you, there will be a different version of that. There will be a different nuance in the future. So, everything is not final and permanent. All right. But what I'm going to teach you is going to be very helpful. Very helpful in the sense to reduce suffering, to live your life better. And this is not some like I'm tired of living among crazy lunatics and lunatics who think that who are pretending to help other people. They're also lost. So I started that okay, we want more sane people in the world because see, reality does not exist in a vacuum. That there will be a reality with somebody. If I put to work enough, there will be people who will finally understand, and then we will take this like then we will have a different society and better society, this and that. These are the ways how narcissists, psychopaths, lunatics think. My way of thinking is whatever can happen, it can happen in today's time, now and here. And this is my effort creating these videos to explain you things from a educated point of view. Your responsibility is to understand, get educated, and apply these things to become a better person. Once again, there is no theater play or no fantastic things are going to be told. There will be no myths. There will be no scary things. So if you are here for the entertainment, I will try to keep it entertaining in other way, but that's not pure entertainment. Try to gain something from this. Okay, so let's begin. So let's begin from the beginning. I'm trying new thing. I had this drawing tablet for like six, not six, even more than 10 years, to be honest. It's still brand new. I did not use it. I forgot it somewhere. It was put there. So I thought that maybe I have this tablet. Let's utilize. Let's try to draw a little bit, if I can. Okay, I can do that, but it will be a challenge. So yeah, let's try. Okay, so the topic here is how elites are fooling you, and what to do about it. See, there's a lot of things that are going on in the world, and there are a lot of people who are trying to expose these things. And there are a lot of conspiracies, there are a lot of disinformation, there are a lot of people who are lost themselves, and they are making other more crazier. They're angry people, they're hateful people, everybody is suffering. So what's the ultimate solution for this? We cannot keep going like this. So we have to establish a few things first. Few things such as you are alive, okay, you are real, your life is real. And this is not to pump your grandiosity or your narcissism. No. Like you are alive, I'm also alive. Like you're alive, your neighbor is also alive. Like you're alive, people from your other countries, they're also alive. So even if you understand this thing, this knowledge, this is not to feed into your grandiosity. I will try to make this very clear. This is for you, me, or anybody else to have a better experience of life, better life, healthier life, okay, more stable, grounded life. This is my attempt. So if you have this in your mind, you can continue. If you are some conspiracy theorist, if you don't, you're here to argue, if you're here to attack, fight, this and that, I will block you. And that will be the end of that. All right. So if you want to learn. If you want to aggrandize yourself, steal my stuff, this and that, you can do that. We can get a short fame or this and that, no doubt. But that will once again contribute to the same thing, the suffering. So either you can suffer and be famous. Ask a lot of actors, whoever, or like there was this Chandler, what was his name? I forgot. Ask him, he was famous, but how much he enjoyed his life. Yeah, he was a comedian, comic actor, and still people suffer. So people suffer because, first of all, when there's time, they don't learn the right things. When somebody is explaining, they have their own processes going on that want to defy them, that want to attack them, that want to feed into their grandiosity. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that this is the case with a lot of people. And then there are people who learn and who apply these things, and their life gets better. Life gets better is very different from having some sort of this. I'm not promising you any success in life, any riches in life. I'm promising you to have a good experience of life, and success and riches, they have their own processes. You have to follow those processes as well. For now, this is for your base, and this is not a medical advice. First of all, let me be very clear. There's a disclaimer. This is not a medical advice at any point. This is a life advice. If you want to take, that's okay. If you don't want to take, you can leave. You can find other stuff. It's up to you. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is this much, that I'm explaining you this thing. That's all. So yeah, let's go. So what is the basis of all these problems? The basis of all this problem is, okay, what the hell is going on? What even is this? Okay, so there's a learning curve. Let me try my best. Let me try my best. Okay. So now it change again. What the hell is going on? Which side is up? Which side is down? Okay. Yeah. So why is it inverted? So the basis is you. Let me make however I can, or I should rather use mouse. That's better. Okay. So the basis is you. This is you. And this is the environment around you. And this is the world around you. And this is the universe around you. So you are living your life happily in whatever way possible. Okay. And there's this world, the environment. It is pushing back. It is imposing their they force onto you. And then this is your circle of your identity, your the place, your personal space and everything. Okay. And you are pushing back because you are just one person, so you are pushing back a little bit. So if the environment is not healthy or bad, bad is wrong word, but let's use bad. Pardon my, this is first time I've ever tried to draw with anything. I used to draw on paper and pen, that's a different thing. Paper and pencil and all the stuff. And you are you. Good, bad, mixture of everything. Okay, right? And the environment is pushing you and you're pushing it back. So the tussle is about, like, obviously, if the environment is like how it is right now, toxic, no matter what you do, you will always have this much influence on the environment. The environment has massive influence onto you. But if we replace the environment with the eraser with good, all right, so environment is good and you're still pushing back, but that's less. So the problem here is in the word today's time that environment is bad and it's influencing you, and because of environment you have become bad also. Okay, so it's double bad on you because the environment has convinced you. But if the environment is good and it is pushing you back as well and you are also good, so the positive outcomes come. Now what I'm trying to get at is, so this is you with a name name, that's your identity. That's how the environment represents you, it identifies you. But there are other things, other factors as well, that you have name, you have a life. Okay, and you have physical existence. Name is something, there's some person on the street going, you don't know his name, what are you interacting with? On a package you're interacting with. So you're interacting with a person. A person has other status as well, such as health, such as their own processes. Name is one thing. Ego identity. That's what people call it in psychology, ego identity. And a lot of people usually confuse themselves with just one thing, that is their name. If somebody talks poorly about them, people get hurt, me included, others included. Everybody gets hurt about this. Okay, no exemption. There's no greater or poorer here, no good or bad, no better words. There's not a competition of being a manly, this and that. It hurts everybody. Okay, people who say that they are very manly and this and that, it hurts to them as well. But that's just part of what you are. You are also a physical being. Okay, you're also this personality. I mean, a physical entity. And then you also have a personality. That personality is a sum total of your experiences, All right, how you have learned things formally from school, colleges, this and that, from your environment, from your home, from your country, from anything. All the sum total of all these things makes you your ego identity. Now, the problem with today's time is you don't have the whole control over your existence. The environment always push. Environment also always create some rules that you have to implement onto you. And then you say that these rules are stupid and I don't want to follow these rules. Okay, so what is going on here is where everybody's wrong. See, in today's time, rules exist. Rules exist not because they want to help you grow or this and that. Rules, the environment is, it has this property. The nature, the natural existence of everything has a property to have frameworks. Even when nobody tries, there will be frameworks on it. We don't interact with the environment directly. Like we don't fuse with the environment, physically fuse and interpret environment or influence environment with our physicality. We influence the environment or environment influences us via medium. Medium in the sense like I'm sitting in this room and there's a medium. The medium is air. That's why I am able to create this sound of my voice. Okay, so like for example, this is a room and it's full of oxygen. This room can be filled with other gases as well, or the saturation can be different, like the composition of air can be altered artificially. In the same way, there exist frameworks. Frameworks, let's call it WFW frameworks, okay? And through these frameworks, we get communicated by the environment, or we communicate to the environment using these frameworks. Now, these frameworks are sponsored by multiple entities. Like, for example, you are watching this video. This video is available on, let's say, YouTube. YouTube has its own YouTube. Okay. Policies. Policy. My handwriting is not so bad, trust me. But I'm not used to it. Policies. In the same way, this video some people are going to watch on Rumble or some other environment, some other platform. BitChute. BitChute. Okay, so they all have their own policies, and their policies may differ a lot. YouTube has very weird policies. If you are on YouTube, your content can easily be stolen, and then you have to prove that's your content. Okay, to YouTube. On Rumble, the policies are lenient. On BitChute, there's strictness and leniency both. Depends what they are going to entertain. So this is how you are interacting with environment. I'm just using this as an example. The multiple bodies of these frameworks. We have governmental frameworks. We have these platform related frameworks. Then we have your local societal frameworks. All sorts of things are there, and they're influencing you, and you only have this much influence. Okay, and you want to live a good life. Okay, I don't know if I can draw anything there. Good life, GL. Okay, so you don't know that these things exist because they are all hidden. 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 Hidden by default. Okay, you don't know. I'm sitting here, I'm making this video in my room, and there's no YouTube this and that policy applies to this just yet. The moment I upload this video, this content on YouTube, these all these weird policies, they applies to me automatically, just for merely using these platforms. And these platforms that decide what is right and what is wrong. And this is called enforcement. Okay, so framework framework it pushes you through enforcement. Okay, now the problem here is this framework, it is, as far as I've understood, I'm not saying any YouTube this and that or any other framework, any legal system framework, somebody. No, I'm specifying that these frameworks are hijacked. So when you see that there's a government of leftists, this platform work according to the policies of leftists. If there are these frameworks, and there's a government of alt-right, right-wing, ultra rightism, nationalism, this and that whole shit, these frameworks start to enforce those policies. And you, who exists naturally in the universe, you have no say in there. Okay, you are not able to interact with this environment. ENV directly. Okay, because there's all sorts of consumerism, capitalism, communism, socialism, thisism, thatism, your religion, your personal belief, your societal, community based policies, rules, they all apply. Now these things, there's no way you can directly interact with this thing without a framework. Even if you say that I will do it myself, no. So a lot of people fall for the ideologies. Which framework are they following? It generates ideology. Okay, I'm trying to write using cursive. That's what I use, by the way. Ideology. So let's say, let me change the scene. Whole scene need to be changed. So let's say, what just happened? Oh no! Why cannot I write? This is a new software. So let me use the Paint. That's simpler. Paint. I need to learn this first. Okay. So let's say in the previous scene there was just you. Now you are not isolated from the rest of the world, right? So these are multiple people. Now it has become Minecraft. Okay. And then there's environment, and then there's universe, known universe, and this unknown universe beyond what we any of us know. Okay. And then there's these multiple people, and they all have their identity, everything as is. Okay. And they have, let's say, this much influence on the environment have massive influence on them. Now this is your framework that I was discussing about before. You cannot interact with this framework directly, no way. You have to build some framework. Now if this framework is corrupted, is hijackable, can be overridden, can be overloaded, is something called overload. What is overload? So they are mathematical operators that perform some basic arithmetic. That this is plus, this is minus, this is division, this or this division, this is multiplication. Okay. So these things in mathematics will always, plus will always have plus, minus will always have minus, division will always have division, multiplication will always have multiplication. But in computer science, that is logic, these things can be overloaded. Okay, they can be overloaded. They can be more than one function, or they can like have their own original function, but for a period of time the original function can be suspended and they can be utilized into something else. So the framework we have here, this thing has all those properties. Now your goal is to have a framework that makes you interact with the environment directly. So this is simply not possible. So we have, why is this not possible? See, if you were just one entity, just one person, and there was environment, and look, understand the logic of this, why it is not possible, and don't try to make it your psychopathy. Okay, that does not work. So you alone, as a social being, as a social person, you need food, right? If you need money, you need a society, you need to go into society, perform some actions that society approves, the framework approves, and you return back to your home. In return, you will get some money, something for giving your service to the society. And society rewards you or punish you. Like, for example, if you're going to the society and stealing something, you're taking from the society without giving any like positive or something, the society come after you and they put you in the prison. Okay. So the framework that should be healthy, that is created by healthy people, is now being run by lunatics. Not even lunatics. If there was no AI, I would blame it, pin it on some person. It is being run by a alien body that's just not in this part. It is all permeating. Okay, and if it has an error, it will be error everywhere. It is all permeating. What is logic? What is AI? AI is a augmentation of the entirety of human logic experience. They are trying to extract a lot of things. Okay, I don't know what their end goal is, but I'm just telling you what's going on. Now you are interacting with environment. This is your need. By default, if you are not interacting with environment, you will die in a healthy way. If you are interacting with environment in unhealthy way, you will die once again. Okay. So this entity is dictating what you should do and what you should not do. All right. AI or policies developed by AI, okay, or people who sit in these big companies, they think like AI as well. So they are robots, like, okay. Now they're telling you something, how to live a life, okay. And I'm not saying that everybody who's sitting in big companies is doing this is wrong, is not this and that. But the thing is, the framework, if it is privatized, private, right? So it enforces policies, okay? It is enforcing policies. These policies are what these policies are. They are in organic, and inorganic in the sense that this is the flow of natural life of you, of anybody. And these policies are driven for profit, profit, survival, survival. Pardon my French. It is English actually, but I'm not used to it. I'm just doing with the mouse. Okay, these policies are for competition, competition, and they enforce these policies are in compliance with law. They enforce the platforms of frameworks policies. And why I have talked about this framework, because this framework in nature should be like, you are a natural being, you are born, you are a natural person, and your life, it interacts with the environment through natural processes. The environment, the framework should be natural. It should have some sunshine, it should have some sort of grass. People say that go touch grass, okay. So all this thing is what reality is. Reality, reality, okay. But inorganic policies, let's say by inorganic policies generated by these platforms, even systems, depends who's running the system, depends who's running the platforms once again, and what is the core, the center of their policies, okay. If you are a human being just like me or others, the core of your reality and nature and the framework should be healthy natural life. If the framework is being run by and imposed onto people via any platform, even platforms tell you if you are a good person or bad person nowadays. Okay, even all the while letting all sorts of crazy things available, and you're trying to do something good, so they bash you. And what these platforms have become into this time is they've become parasitic. All the platforms have become parasitic to generate more and more, more and more, more and more. What we call, what psychologists call supply. More attention. They want more attention toward them, more attention toward them, more attention toward them. This is the biggest game in the world. They want everybody's attention on them every single day, every single time. And their policies are made like that to not just give them money, not just waste your time, not just watch your ads. Their ads generate revenue for them that also gets shared with you. They also collect your data. They also have big things behind the scenes that process data, that cut everything all fair and square and give them patterns. Those patterns they use to manipulate you, to generate more and more attention, to generate more and more engagement, to extract more money from you, and the cycle repeats. Now, what is wrong with this thing? There's nothing inherently wrong with any of this thing as long as it's not destroying your life completely. And even if this is destroying your life, you have this called terms and conditions. It's a waiver type of thing what you have signed when you join these platforms. After joining these platforms, this waiver term and condition, tick this. I accept. I read the policies. All right. And that's the legal agreement, by the way, between you and the platform and the framework. The framework that is inorganic, that has all its stuff. They have corporate lawyers, they have developers, they have scientists, they have everybody under there, under their fingers. And these scientists, these lawyers, they generate things in a way that you, you and I, in this crazy world. All right, we don't have the slightest clue. Even if we try, even if we read all the policies, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So the disruption occurs because of these things. When I started this video, everything got deleted. I told you that you think yourself as a ego identity. All right. Now, what these policies, these things, what they're doing is they're messing with the natural flow of your interaction with the nature via healthy framework. The framework is distorted. So there's something called ID, id, or it's a psychological term. It is called false ego. So when you have an avatar, avatar, or how you say it, avatar, on social framework, your social media, so you usually have this thing called profile. Okay, this is your digital avatar. It can have handle at the rate. Okay, it can be donated through hashtag by other people. All right. So this can have picture. It can have anything else as well. So this is called as your digital digital ID, identity ID. See the similarity. Digital ID means alter ego, means your false ego. So a lot of people have this picture taken all sorts of ways, fancy ways. Okay, that's a good idea, but still people confuse themselves. Like if I'm interacting with somebody, if let's say I'm interacting with some person with some influence on the society, I don't know these people personally. I don't know my leaders personally. Do I know? Do you know? How much do you know your leaders personally? I don't know anything. What you know is through their speeches, through television, through something, and you support them or you oppose them, or the policies they are making onto you that you are coerced into following. Well, right, I'm not anti-government. I support democracy. Believe it or not. Why I support democracy is a whole different thing for the future, and the democracy is not same as uh, what Americans' democracy is. I'm not. I don't follow American democracy. There's very something very wrong with that, or republicanism, for that matter. I follow democracy that we had, we developed, and that was different from Western democracy. Believe it or not, because it had core values of. If I say India, you will confuse me that, oh, this motherfucker is Indian and he's spousing. He does not know anything. He has not watched any conspiracy videos. He has no slightest clue about conspiracy. No. Like, for example, let's say, where are you from? America? Russia? You are from Australia? Britain? Wherever. You are a member of that country. That's true. By definition of like being born there or being citizen of that country, and you like your country and you follow the whatever the hell goes in that country by default, right? So I respect that. In the same way, we are who are born in India, we have our own ways. So I respect that. So you and I are not very different, although we are from very different places, and you have very different things, and we have very different things. The core logic exists. Like let's say, let's remove me from the scene. Let's talk about American Britain. There are very different rules, very different policies by the government, and there are localized things that are not mentioned anywhere. Okay, so British don't like the country, or Americans don't like the country. They do. Why do they like it? Because they love being that. All right. So it is a tendency of human to like that. Okay. Now the problem here is the whole thing that you have based your life around is called ID id. It is false ego. So how these rules and laws and all these things works, as far as I've understood, they cannot lie to people bluntly, directly, or like support their narratives to have a inorganic framework. It's not possible, like physically not possible to lie to you, because reality, by the virtue of existing, like all the elements in the universe exists, and if you make one thing to something else, let's say this is a pen. Okay, it has some definition in my culture, your culture, everybody else's culture. There's a word for pen, and this word will always be to localize or people who knows pen will be pen, because it has the property of a pen. It's the digital pen. It's called plotter. No, not plotter. Digitizer or something. I forgot the technical term. Let's consider this as a pen, or should I pull the real pen? Right. So pen will stay pen, no matter what. And there's a reason to nomenclature this as a pen after wasting so much energy time, because it has a function that's pen. So in the same way, the government, the people, these all these things, they cannot misattribute these things, because that breaks the reality. That will drive everybody insane, this and that. So what they do is they hide things. They hide real meanings. Something like, for example, they exist something. It has a description of it's properly documented, and that's where its meaning is generated from. Ontological reality, this and that. A lot of people talk about. It's not universal. Ontology is not universal. It can have still have a framework, like elements in it. So if you call pen, let's say hammer, if you want to fool people and you want to tell people that this is not pen, this is hammer, so this breaks the logic, this breaks the reality, this breaks the framework, this breaks everything. So this breaks their own control over all these things. Okay, so what they do is they hide things, and if you get confused, you start to see this pen as a hammer, that's your fault. People will call you idiot or anything else, xyz. So what this inorganic framework that I was talking about here is doing is confusing people, because let's say if there's a community based thing, those things also have issues. Everything has issues. In today's time, everything that exists has issues. Okay, so the, the problem here is how to make this thing better, how to not fall off any of this thing. And this is just one example I've given you. Id, the common thing that they are false ego, and people are fighting over this thing, false ego. Okay, why are they fighting over this thing? Because this thing is amplified. Okay, in the older time, at least, community has some influence. Community has this influence on the environment in a healthy way. Community would introspect. See, community policing is very wrong. I'm not talking about community policing here. A lot of minds, Western minds, don't see things like this. So there's a healthy community based framework where community is integrated as an integral part of the society. Okay. Like in older times, there used to be cobblers, there used to be tailors, there used to be farmers, there used to be other such people. Okay, and they were mostly identified by their traits, like trades, what they do. But and in communism, I think this is like that still. So these traits would become your identity. That's where communism is wrong. But in a community, in a integrated society, that like your traits, what you have to offer to the society, it does not become communism. First of all, everything that communism follow, the logic is can be like reinterpreted. I'm not pushing communism here once again. I'm telling you that what communism had become, it's not its property by default, but it used that channel, so it gave those things wrong name. Or socialism, okay. So socialism is another thing that can be good, bad, depends how it is going to be handled and by whom. What will the policies, this and that. I don't support socialism either. What I support is Buddhism, so it's different. Why I support Buddhism, that's up to me. And democracy, I support democracy. I don't follow democracy 100%. I don't follow all their whole shit, to be honest. So how to counter these things? Now I will give you Buddhistic solution for this. I will not give you any other solution. Political, socio-political. I don't have all that. I don't support those. So let's say, let's zoom it in a little bit. So this is a society we have here, and in this society, this is you. Okay, let's get into this. Now you have this space, and you have this much influence. Let's make influence more visible. This much influence, okay. And this person has this much influence as well. Another this much, another this much. So let's say if more people, the influence will be more and more, more and more, more and more. But the thing is how to change this framework to a healthier one. So if you keep this influence that you have in the field of HEALTHY, healthy. So this influence that we have on the framework, it will accumulate, it will add up. I'm not saying be good, be a shiny example, be the top of this. No. If you're holding your ground and you're keeping your environment healthy, you're taking care of yourself, your needs, your personal space, cleaning up this night, cooking for yourself, keeping your things healthy, how they should be naturally, not through the policies and enforcement, through inorganic means by some society, this and that. All right. So slowly, slowly, what this will do is, and you don't have to prove this anything. If you are a human being, you only can exist through the human stuff. Like if you're a human organic person, if you eat, you are going to sustain. If you're not going to eat natural organic stuff, you are not going to sustain. There are all sorts of systems in you, digestive systems, and there are all sorts of systems. And if you start eating rocks, that does not make you unique. That makes you an idiot. In the same way, rocks are very obvious examples, but you see all sorts of garbage stuff that's laying around you that you are devouring. Okay, it's concealed, so you are indirectly eating such stuff, and this is messing with your organic life. That is messing with everything. Now, if you became healthier, so in the previous scene, I told you that you are a person with a genuine, authentic identity. You have personality, you have name, this and that. So if you maintain that status, So this influence of inorganic, unauthentic, because what they are trying to do is they are making you more and more inorganic day by day, day by day. They're replacing your authentic influence on the framework, and they are reinforcing their inorganic policies onto you to proceed with profits. They're getting the profit, they're getting what they want. And these companies, whatever the hell, these frameworks that are imposed onto you, that you are bound to follow if you want to use the service, is keeping you encased. Okay. And these policies have become the dictating force of your life because you are consumed and subsumed by their policies. You have become diverged the moment you start staring at a screen, me included, by the way, scrolling through your TikTok or whatever fancy application you have. I don't have TikTok. I've never used TikTok in my life. I don't use Facebook. I did not. I deleted Facebook in 2010 or something when I was in high school. I did not use Facebook ever since. I don't have Instagram, and I have a Twitter that is very toxic, to be honest. So I don't have social media that much. Okay, I'm not saying that you should not install this and that. Okay, wink wink. So when you enforce your influence on the framework and make it healthier, make it natural, organic. So these policies, these inorganic policies, these hubris of these companies, it can reduce. Make sure that influence is healthy. Otherwise, it will not work. Otherwise, you will be get sucked right back into the same toxic framework. If it's not like this, there will be some other toxic framework. So you will not be able to enforce your human, natural, organic, quote unquote. A lot of people talk about will, enforcing will, this and that. So you will not be able to enforce that will because a lot of people, when they get sick, when they get hurt, when they get something, then they want to enforce their healthy will onto the system, onto the framework. Okay, but when they're healthy, they do opposite things. They wait to get unhealthy first. They devour all sorts of things. They watch all sorts of things because they think that's the freedom. Okay, so they become what Chinese. The Chinese people. There's this movie called. I watched this movie when I was younger. I forgot the name. This is a very famous animated movie, by the way. Untangled something. That was very famous movie. Yes, I'm skipping the name of its name. Yeah, that was my favorite movie as a kid, by the way. So you become like devouring swine. The more somebody gives you, the more you do devour, and you become like that. Or in Buddhism, we have this terminology called hungry ghosts. Ghosts, they have how do you call it? Appraisal. What's the term? Apparition, right? So what is a ghost? A ghost is something that was given a time to live its life, and it wasted its time to have no meaningful uh, like process of life. And since it's dead, it did not do its things that it was required to do. Now it's lost in this matrix because it's a speculative example, not literal. Don't make it literal. Okay, more philosophical than actual. Okay, don't make it a myth, another myth. Don't make it a some sort of religious this and that. Okay, I try to understand what I mean logically. So let's say there's a system that is generating everybody, all the life force, all the living beings, whatever it may be. You exist, that system exists. I'm talking about system. I'm not talking about God. I'm not talking about religion. So since that system exists, it is sending you to this earth to have a meaningful life. Okay? And if you wasted your time, the life that you were meant to live, to support some fantastic video game, to scroll through these contents that actually literally have no meaning, in fact, they are fragmenting your psyche even further, because now your brain is you as an identity, as not just name. You are also neuroscience in its entirety. Okay, you're also whole entirety of psychology, your entirety of. Now this is once again not for your grandiosity. Just like you, your neighbor is also like that. Okay, so you're also of an organism of this natural reality. You are also anything and everything that microcosm, macrocosm, however people say it, of this universe. Okay, you are reflecting the universe through you. Okay, so you were given that time, so there should be a balance. I'm not saying that don't play video games, don't do your scrolling, that will give you no meaningful thing. Actually, these are usually weaponized things that have some deeper thing, and they are not for you to have a meaningful life, to be honest, to waste that life. And then that become your ego identity. Id, that is false ego, not ego identity, id. And all the chaos that is going on in this world in the name of conspiracy theorists, in the name of left and right. Okay, in the name of your anarchical groups, religious sects. I'm Christian, I'm Buddhist, I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim, I'm Jewish, I'm this and that. So all they are claiming to know the universe, all they say that this is the ultimate truth about universe, and all of them are trying to influence you to run their business. Okay, and at the same time, there are real, authentic people in almost everywhere. They have different philosophies in a healthy sense. Those people got hijacked by some sort of lunatic force. Now, all the information that you are getting is through this hijacked framework that is reinforcing something else that has no connection with your life. And your little influence that you have on this life, you're wasting to support these narratives, to feed into some sort of toxic framework. So, how to return back to the original framework? It's a matter of another video. I'm trying to keep these videos short. And I will bring these topics. You will not find this thing anywhere else. You can find different versions of this thing, but not the exact stuff. I will try to make this thing better. Okay, so yeah, just if you did not subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Once again, it's your responsibility. It's your whether you select it, you reject it, you accept it or not. It's up to you. I'm only going to explain you what I have understood with study, not just personal experience, with going through a lot of things that also include some sort of occult, some religion. I have a master's degree in computer science. I've studied what to whatever level psychology. So everything that you are going to witness here will be meaningful, to say the least. I'm not saying will be 100% accurate, because there's still a chance. There's always a chance of making errors. But I'm saying that whatever the hell you have heard about people from conspiracy groups, this and that, They are flawed, completely flawed and biased, and all sorts of the personal ego, ID, false identity, something related to that is going on. Here you can have a little bit errors here and there, but it will still be vastly better than whatever you have come across so far. So subscribe to my channel, share my videos with your friends and family. Thanks so much.